Hey everyone, welcome back to DIY Beauty on Purpose. My name is Leonette and I love to craft, I love to create, and I'm so glad that you are here. Today is a special day because not only am I bringing you 5 thrift store flips with a Christmas theme, but I'm also teaming up with 3 of my crafting buddies that I know you're going to love, and we're all going to bring you a lot of Christmas inspiration. On top of that, we're also going to bring you along into our crafts room. We're going to show you behind the scenes look. We're going to show you a little bit of where we film, where we stage, and bring you along with me so it feels like you're right here with me crafting all ready for Christmas. Let's not wait any longer. Let's get started. All right, for this DIY, I am going to start with this board here. It's a cedar board that I got at the thrift store. It was only 99 cents, and I actually got 3 of them. But we're only going to start with 1. I'm going to give it a very heavy, dry brush using Rust-Oleum chalk paint and the linen white because we're going to be distressing it. Today's DIYs are all going to have a farmhouse look, so a lot of them are going to be distressed, but overall they're going to have a very farmhouse look. I'm using my palm sander and a 150 grit sandpaper. I am focusing mainly on the edges, but I'm going to do a little bit of sanding in the center just to soften things. Once it was sanded, it's time to start adding some little embellishments. So these little wooden, like a reindeer, I got at Walmart, and I've had for a while now, for a few weeks, and I could not figure out what I wanted to use it for. And this is perfect. I'm going to hot glue it to the left side of the board. I'm also going to take one of these little foam berries that I've had in my stash from decorations from last year. Actually, about 90% of the decorations that I am using today are from last year's Christmas stash that I never got to use. So I'm really happy I got to pull them out and use them. Using my Cricut, I cut out the phrase reindeer sleigh rides. I thought it would be very cute to have this. And I'm just going to center it there on the right side of the reindeer. And then we're going to start stenciling. The stenciling I'm going to do, instead of just all one color, I'm going to do a combination of black, red, and green. So now it's time to remove the vinyl, and by the way, all the vinyls and supplies and tools and paints that I use here on my channel, a lot of them are in my Amazon store. If you have not visited my Amazon store, it is linked down below. I'm going to use some of this buffalo check ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to scrunch it up in the back, staple it with my electric stapler, and that is it. I am going to remind you what the board looked like before when I got it, which is very nice. But I love the way it is now. It is beautiful. I'm not sure if I'm going to sell this one in my booth or I'm going to keep it. Not decided yet, but I love the way it has that farmhouse, very festive Christmas look. Alright, so I want to take you with me and show you where everything is created for my videos. This is my workstation. This is where I stand most of the time, if not sit. And I've got my lighting. And this is where I film. So let me take you around. And here we are. It's a simple setup, but it works really well for me. Of course, I have beautiful lighting from the windows there. But I also have my 3 lights. I have 2 box lights and 1 ring light that help reduce shadows. This here is just crafting paper that I normally just change in between either DIYs if it gets really messy, or between videos. And then I just buy it in a roll like this, and I just switch it up. And that is where all the magic of filming and creating happens. For the next DIY, I am going to start with this Christmas sign. It was already Christmas themed, but we are going to make it a little bit more into the farmhouse theme that we are going for. I'm going to remove the ribbon, and I am going to give, I'm also going to remove this galvanized tin trim because we are going to reuse it again in our design. I'm going to give everything 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. The first coat is going to be horizontal, so it's all going to be facing side to side. The second coat I am going to do vertically. This is to give me a very textured kind of fabric look to it. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. Do you see those lines going down and then going sideways? It almost looks like fabric. That's the texture that I was looking for, and that usually you get that when you do one coat one way and then one coat the other way, specifically using a chippy brush because it leaves a lot of brush strokes. So just an idea for you. Now it's time to put everything together. I'm going to take this burlap ribbon and I'm just going to cut a piece to fit the bottom trim. I'm going to hot glue it in place, and then I am going to place the galvanized trim that came with the original design, and I'm going to place it right above it. I'm also going to secure it with brad nails. Did you know that DIY Beauty on Purpose now has memberships available? If you want to learn more about the special perks you will get by becoming a member, check out the link down below. Using my Cricut once again, I cut out the phrase Christmas at Farm, but I misspelled it. Or not misspelled it, but I missed the. I should have caught that. Even doing this and even stenciling it, I didn't catch it. I caught it after I was already taking pictures. Ugh. Anyways, before I sell it, before I display it, I will add the to it. So just so that you know, I can't believe I did that. Anyways, I again stenciled it using black and red. That way it has a very festive look to it. This little barn ornament I got at the Dollar General last year, and I'm just going to use it right here on the left hand side of the sign. I'm also going to take some more of that red buffalo check ribbon from Dollar Tree. I'm going to do the same thing, just scrunch it, staple it in the back, and that's it for this one, guys. I'm going to remind you what the original sign looked like, which is beautiful, just not the style that we were looking for today. And here's what it looks like now. I am so loving this one. I love the size of it. I love all the textures that it has. And once I fix the words and I add the, I think it's going to be absolutely stunning, and I can't wait to put it in my booth. So now I want to show you the place where I stage after all my DIYs are done. This is a faux fireplace that I created myself, actually. And I used a contact paper, just like wallpaper, to have that faux shiplap on the back. I've had that now for a while, actually. And then this is where I place my DIYs, and I'm always having some staging items. I do have lighting, so these two, that one and this one, are lighting that I hung, and it just creates a better, brighter scene for my DIYs. So when I take pictures, they look nice, clear, and crisp. And I'm excited. I love having this area. This is how it usually looks all the time. A little bit of a mess because I just put on and remove. And then on this little side, a little table here, I keep a lot of my staging areas, like candle pillar holders or decorizers, and just different things that I will move back and forth to create a nice area for pictures. For this next DIY, I'm going to take this cake pan that I got at the thrift store, and we are going to spray paint it using some of this Rust-Oleum spray paint. After several coats and it is fully dry, I am now going to drill a couple of holes on the top of it because we are going to make it into a little hanging decor for any wall. It could also be placed on a mantle, but it just gives us the option to be able to hang it if we want. I'm using a drill bit that is appropriate for metal, and I'm going to thread some jute rope right through it and knot it on the inside, and that's what we will hang it from. I contemplated doing a different decor, but I did get another one of these cake pans. So for another Christmas one, I'll do a different one, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. All right, so I'm going to take this Christmas pick I got at Dollar Tree last year. I did remove all of the golden tone leaves and flowers from it. I'm going to bend it a little bit just to give it that rounded look. I'm also going to take this little, it's like a cinnamon brush or broom. I'm not sure what it is, but it smells delicious. I love the way it smells. So I'm just going to hot glue both of them on the bottom of the pan there. I'm going to take some of this Merry Christmas ribbon I got at Dollar General last year again. I'm just going to make a very simple bow, tie it in the middle with some jute twine, and then place it in the center. I'm going to take off this pine cone because it's in my way of the bow, but we're going to put it back on it here in a minute. I'm going to dovetail the ends of the bow. That way it just looks trimmed and finished. And just using hot glue, I'm going to hot glue it right there in the center. The little pine cone I removed, I'm just going to place some hot glue and place it right there in the center. I'm going to take this little rolling pin that I got last year at Dollar General, which I think is super cute. And it kind of goes with the whole cake pan theme, maybe. And I hot glue it there in the middle, as well as these red berries that I had from last year. So look how stunning this cake pan looks. Does not look like a cake pan anymore. I love it. It can even serve as an extra large ornament on a tree. Beautiful. This here is the area behind my filming area. So here's where I film. And then I have all my faux flowers here. Let me show you a little bit of a close-up. I have a very large frame. I don't know if you can see the frame up there. That I thrifted and painted and actually added some chicken wire. Let me see if you can see it back here. And this is where I keep all my faux flowers. I just kind of push them in there, really. A lot of times it looks even messier than what it is now. But it's just a nice way to keep my flowers in order because it's so easy to get out of control. I also keep some seasonal ones right in front of me as I'm filming and creating because it's easy to just grab. Then behind me, I keep some other goodies. So I have on my paint here, or the go-to paint that I usually go to quickly. I have pencils and brushes, permanent markers, and some color ones. And then I have my Cricut machine there, and some things, just seasonal things. I keep a little box here of smaller flowers that may not stay in on the wall. So little things like this that I may not want to get rid of because I may need it, I just put them all in here and it works out well. And in here I have ribbon that I keep, seasonal ribbon, and then of course my vacuum because I'm always having to clean. And then I have my two cabinets. These two large cabinets on each side just store a whole bunch of supplies, whether it's stain, more paint, and then I have like maybe tools, brushes, hardware, and some miscellaneous things. And the same with the other one, just things to keep things kind of out of sight but easily accessible if I need it. So that's my space. For the next DIY, I am going to take this little vase that I recently got at the thrift store. It was $3.99, a little bit more than I would have spent, but I really like the size and how it's actually pretty heavy. It's like ceramic. So I cleaned it up, and now I'm going to take some extra spackle or leftover spackle that I had in the container. I'm just going to add some chalk paint to it. This is going to thicken it up. If you follow me for a while, you know that I love using this, especially using them in vases, ceramic vases, because it just gives it a nice ceramic, almost cement texture to it. I'm just going to start brushing it. I'm going to go sideways motion. So just kind of keep that sideways round motion for the texture to have that kind of look. And I'm going to just do one coat, and then I'm going to add one extra coat of just regular chalk paint. The rest of the spackle mixture I'm going to keep in that little container, and it'll be good for next time I use it. Once it was fully dry, I'm going to take some of this jute rope, and I'm just going to wrap it around the top, and I'm just going to make a simple knot to the right side of the vase. We're going to keep it pretty simple. I just love the way it just has that bright white look. We're not even going to distress it. This one's going to stay just like this. I'm then going to start adding some snowy, wintry kind of decor that I already had from last year. I'm serious, guys. These were all leftover things that I had from last year. I'm just going to start building it up, adding some picks here and there, and just kind of make it look very Christmassy, very seasonal, very festive. I'm also going to add this little reindeer that I had left over from last year. This is a Dollar Tree ornament. I thought it looked pretty cool, just snug in there in between all the branches. I hot glued it in place. I'm also going to add some of these berries right next to the knot where the rope is, and this little tiny bell. This little bell I actually got this year at Dollar Tree. Well, let me remind you what the vase looked like before. And this is what it looks like now. Oh, how beautiful. It just has a very crisp, white, festive look and very farmhouse. I love it.
It was the night before Christmas. I was closing down for business in my little present shop.
For this DIY, I am going to start with this lantern that already had a Christmas theme, but again, not quite my style. So we are going to give it more of a bright farmhouse style for Christmas. I'm going to remove the glass though. I'm just going to move these little tabs up, and then I'm going to carefully remove the glass, and we're actually not going to replace them. I actually just threw them out because I want to have more of a open lantern kind of look. So once I had it removed, I am going to take the same spray paint that I used earlier. I'm going to show you the little nozzle that I use here. This I got on my Amazon store as well. So if you need something like this, I do have it on my Amazon store. So we are out here in my front yard. This is actually where I do a lot of my spray painting in the not winter, spring, summer, and fall. My home is right there. I put a blanket down that I use for my painting, and then here we are. We're gonna start with this one. It's gonna be a little bit more complicated because of all the details, but we shall see. I gave it several light coats and just kept building it until I had full coverage. On the inside it's not full coverage, but it was really hard to get in there. But overall, I think it turned out pretty well. I'm going to take this Dollar Tree Christmas pick that I already had. Once again, I did remove all the red flowers that it had on it because I didn't want them in here particularly. I'm going to take this pick as well as this cotton stem from the Dollar Tree. Again, all from last year's stash. I'm also going to take one of these fairy lights that I get on Amazon. I do have them on my Amazon store as well. And I'm just going to start just pushing them in there, kind of threading them in between the decorations here and there just to add, again, because it's a lantern. So I wanted to have the lighting portion of it as well. I am going to thread the little battery pack right on the back. That way we can hot glue it in a minute. I'm going to take one of these frosted picks. I'm just going to cut a branch off of it. This is from Dollar General. And these little red berries, again, all from last year. Just place it here in the corner just to add a little bit of color. So we're going to close it up. It has a little knot there that you can just close it up and tighten it. I am going to, like I said, hot glue the battery pack to the back. And let me remind you what this lantern looked like. And this is what it looks like now. Oh, I love it. It's so festive, so bright. I love the little fairy lights in there, and all the pops of red, I think, just contrast with the white so perfectly. I love it.
Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you.
This is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I am so glad that I got to spend this time with you bring you along with me into my craft room and get some Christmas crafting going. I know it's a little early, but it's never too late to start thinking about what you are going to be doing for Christmas. So I hope you got inspired, and don't forget to visit one of these channels for more inspiration. They are my crafting buddies, and make sure to go and check them out because you are going to be beyond inspired and get tons of ideas. I'll see you later. Have a blessed day. Bye.
I've longed for this moment to have you for myself in a cabin.